One of the most important decisions that you can make is the prediabetes diet to start with after diagnosis when your goal is to reverse prediabetes or at minimum prevent the progression to type 2 diabetes. So, today we're talking about how your diet impacts your ability to manage prediabetes, how to create and start a prediabetes diet, and then the biggest predictor of being able to reverse prediabetes with diet. Hey, it's Laura with Truewell, and at this point in your prediabetes journey, I'm sure you are well aware that your food choices can be one of the most important tools in managing and potentially reversing prediabetes. It's important to really grasp that connection between what you eat and how your body responds. So, we're going to talk about how foods affect your blood sugar levels in general, meaning nearly everyone can expect this type of response, and then also your unique response to foods. So, first of all, when you eat food, your body releases insulin in response to any foods that raise your blood sugar levels. Insulin is like the key that allows glucose into the cells in your body to get it out of your bloodstream where it can start to damage your blood vessels, heart, and other organs. In general, you can expect a low blood glucose response to protein, a low response to fat, and you can also expect a much larger response to carbohydrates. And then within the carbohydrates category, you can expect a fast and larger response to sugar and refined carbs like flour and flour based foods. Complex carbohydrates are released much slower in the bloodstream as they're digested. Your unique body type and situation may make some of these responses more exaggerated or less. This can depend on several different factors, including your DNA makeup, how you've been eating, and your current lifestyle choices, how long you've been eating this way, and any other conditions or medications that you could be on that could also affect this. So the question then becomes, how do I create a pre-diabetes friendly diet that will help with that goal of getting off medication and or reversing prediabetes and most of all preventing the progression to type 2 diabetes? That's where a framework that I use with clients comes in. It's called the cheat codes and it's an acronym. It's a step-by-step process to ease you into an anti-inflammatory diet that's unique to you and your personal needs. An anti-inflammatory diet is perfect for managing prediabetes because it focuses on balancing blood sugar and reducing chronic inflammation. Now, the letters in this stand for clean eating, how to eat, which is creating your unique dietary style based on the needs of your body, execution, which is making it happen daily with habits, meal planning, and prep, automation, which is creating systems that put all of those habits on autopilot, and then turbocharge and thrive, which is adding in the other lifestyle factors that will really accelerate all of your dietary efforts. Now, in this video, we're covering the C in the cheat codes framework. Clean eating sort of speaks for itself, but the core of this is cutting out sugar and refined carbs, as well as unhealthy fats, poor quality proteins, and ultra processed foods. Any dietary framework worth following will have clean eating at its core. That's because the foods that we're cutting out give severe blood sugar spikes and are inflammatory, which drive insulin resistance. So, the key component to that is balanced blood sugar. This will mean learning the basics of balanced meals to help keep you full for longer. So, designing or choosing your meals to include a mix of carbohydrates, proteins, and healthy fats helps prevent rapid blood sugar fluctuations. This approach promotes sustained energy levels and helps keep your metabolism in check. Now, what this means is that, for example, breakfast and snack choices like granola bars or flavored yogurts are going to need to be replaced with something more balanced since these types of choices have mostly carbohydrates and usually have high sugar in them with very little protein, fiber, or healthy fats to create that balance, which we'll talk more about in just a bit. You'll also need to focus on portion control. Practicing portion control ensures that you're eating the right amount of food to support your body's needs without overeating. This is going to be key for balanced blood sugar, but also helps if you're trying to lose weight. Now, this can feel a little overwhelming if you're an emotional eater and hooked on sugar or flour. So, it's going to be important to know if you have that type of relationship with food because eating larger portions of carbohydrates tends to be a problem for those with insulin resistance like prediabetes since we're shifting the amounts and the types of carbohydrates in the diet. I've got some articles on the TrueWell site that I'll link below if you think you're in that category and would like a strategy for freeing yourself from emotional eating and the sugar and carbs. Okay, so let's talk about crafting your prediabetes diet plan around nutrient rich foods. So I want to start with this. Most people want to dive into a weight loss plan from the get go because that's what their doctor said is to lose weight. That's actually a huge mistake because if you focus solely on weight loss, you're ignoring the fact that your body has severely unbalanced blood glucose and needs specific types of foods that are nutrient rich and work to balance your blood sugar to start healing that insulin resistance first. Building a prediabetes diet plan revolves around a variety of nutrient rich foods and a specific distribution of macronutrients. Now, what this means is that quality proteins, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and fiber rich foods form the foundation of a prediabetes friendly eating plan. Eliminating sugar, refined carbs, and unhealthy fats while increasing other nutrient rich foods contribute to stable blood sugar levels. Incorporating a colorful array of fruits and vegetables adds not only flavor, but also valuable vitamins and minerals that can also aid in blood sugar control. So, the biggest change to your diet will most likely be in the type of carbohydrates and then balancing those. Now, before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button so that others can find this video that are looking for information on prediabetes, and subscribe to get all things blood sugar balance, prediabetes, and anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle from TrueWell. Now, when we're cleaning up our diet, it's important to understand that carbohydrates are not necessarily the enemy. It's about choosing the right ones. Understanding that distinction between complex carbohydrates and simple carbs empowers you to make those choices, provide sustained energy without causing rapid blood sugar spikes. Simple sugars include any type of sugar, syrup, and fruit juice. There really are a ton of other hidden names for sugars. Other simple carbohydrates are flours. Replacing all those simple sugars and simple carbs with healthy carbs like whole grains, legumes, vegetables, and even low glycemic fruit supports your journey toward better blood sugar control. Now, some examples for a non vegan prediabetes diet would be a breakfast with a crustless quiche full of vegetables and topped with feta crumbles. For a snack, you could do cottage cheese with berries. For lunch, maybe a nourish bowl with quinoa and some mixed greens layered in and then topped with more chopped veggies and a sugar-free vinaigrette. And then for dinner, a 3 to 4 ounce wild caught fish with cilantro, lime, basmati rice, and some sauteed green beans. Now, before we move on to the biggest predictor in reversing prediabetes, if you're getting helpful advice from this video, please hit that like button so that others can find it that are looking for information on prediabetes, and then subscribe to get all things blood sugar control, prediabetes, and anti-inflammatory diet from TrueWell. And lastly, I want to talk about the biggest predictor of being able to reverse prediabetes, which is getting your blood sugar balanced and being able to sustain this. Now, to do this, you're going to need to make informed choices when it comes to your diet. Informed choices means that you're not just guessing on food choices. Knowing the difference between what is helping and what's just being a band-aid is going to be really important. So, informed choices includes things like knowing how to read food labels, knowing what carbohydrates are best for your blood sugar to stay stable, knowing how to test your blood sugar and track your diet and lifestyle changes, and even knowing what dietary style will be best for you personally. This is because some dietary styles will just mask the real issue, which is insulin resistance, and may not be sustainable long term. Your overall goal should be to number one, balance your blood sugar levels, and then two, figure out what's going to help your body potentially reverse prediabetes or at the very least prevent the progression into type 2 diabetes with the dietary style and lifestyle changes that you can stick to long term. Now, if you're ready to get started on that first step, which is managing your blood sugar levels to mitigate any more damage to your body, check out our 4-week blood sugar bootcamp program, which is linked below. Be true, be well, and I'll see you in the next video.